Hey everybody, welcome to day 3, Breakfast with Bob from 70.3 World Championships in beautiful Taupo, New Zealand. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, SFuels, Right Fuel, Right Time, Deboer Wetsuits, Quintana, and our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, Maja Stage Nielsen, who's right now sitting in 3rd place in the Ironman Pro Series, and that could bring $85,000. But there's a lot going on, right? There's still a lot of action that's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of tight in the top. But first of all, thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you. We always enjoy it. It's funny because we ran into each other. They've got this thing here on the lake where you can hit a golf ball and win $10,000 or something like that. And
that would be a nice Christmas present.
Yeah, and former professional golfer who now is a professional triathlete.
Well, I made one hole-in-one all the years I played golf.
Really?
So I don't think it's like the odds are not actually in my favor.
I'll pay for a few balls for you to try.
Thank you.
That would be great. What was that transition like, going from, you've got a sport where obviously being physically fit is important, but not like this, and not the endurance. Golf certainly is an endurance sport to a certain degree.
You walk quite a few miles.
You walk quite a few miles. You got to be focused. You can't have a lapse in attention for.
No, and I think that's where the focus really comes in, and where you actually. It's a big benefit to be fit, because when you need to have that focus for such a long time, obviously you switch on and off, but you still need to have the focus for a very long time. And at the same time, your body just works better when you're fit.
No question. Yeah.
And golf requires quite a lot of your body too.
Yes.
And it's hard on the back and different things. So going to the gym is definitely what all pros do now in golf as well.
But back in the day, a lot of the golfers were smokers and they had bellies and a whole bit. I think Tiger changed a lot of that because he came in and was ripped.
He's a huge role model for the sport, and just a legend, really.
And now with the women's side of it, did you see a lot of the women getting fitter and fitter as well?
Yeah, I think all the girls now will go to the gym.
Right.
And that is that. I guess actually I ran when I played golf as well.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But I just didn't knew how good I was at running.
Right.
We had physical tests with the national team.
Yes.
And the last year I was there, only one of the guys ran away from me.
Wow.
And I was like, well, they're golfers. They don't really,
they don't really run anyway.
They don't really care. But I just really enjoyed running. And the years when I didn't play so well, I would always go for a run after, because to get my frustrations out.
Right.
And the worse I played, the faster I would run. But it feels like so long time ago now.
Yeah, well, and then when you did your first triathlon, did you know right away, okay, I really like this?
Yes. Well, I did a 10K race.
Okay.
And won ice cream because I did sub 40.
Wait, you won ice cream? Because if you went sub 40, was that your own bet, or was it something?
No, that was when I worked in Club La Santa.
Yeah.
They have every year they have a running challenge.
Yes.
And in the running challenge, there's a 10K road race.
Right.
And I would have ice cream from all the green team boys if I ran top 40. So I ran top 40 and I was like, okay, maybe I should do this.
Maybe I should do this. So was it first then running before triathlon?
No, in Lanzarote you kind of get sucked into triathlon.
Because there's a lot of...
no matter what you do. So it was just running that came most natural to me in the beginning.
Right, and the thing with the Lanzarote, so many people, well, you have Ironman Lanzarote, you have 70.3 there, a lot of training camps, a lot of people from Europe come over there to train. Yeah. So you're pretty exposed to triathlon.
Yeah, you can't help it. It's, but I don't complain about that.
No.
I'm happy about the change I made.
Yeah, and so did you start out as an age grouper, or did you become a pro right away?
I did 1 year as age group.
Okay.
Raced 70.3s and went to Las Vegas
for World Championships. Yes.
That was my first World Champs. And then after that, I raced pro.
Right.
But in the beginning, I more did because when I stopped inland sobriety working, I went back to Denmark. I started school to be a physiotherapist.
Right.
And while I did that, I raced, but I still was in school, and that was like...
You're balancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated, I did my first full distance. And then, Ironman was the thing.
So when you did your first full distance, was that as an age grouper or pro?
No, that was
You're
pro.
A pro.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I raced Ironman Mallorca.
Okay.
Late 16. And that was my first full distance. So that's also a while ago now.
Yeah, and you enjoyed it right away.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is where I belong. This is what I need to do.
Even more so than the 70.3. You
Yeah,
just felt that the longer was better for you.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that I perform my best on a full distance.
The longer it is.
But I really enjoy the half distance too.
Yes.
And I still believe that I have a good half distance in me. I just need to get it out.
Well, yeah, you've had some. I mean, you were 7th in Le Sable and 9th in Tallinn. So you had some solid 70.3 races.
Yeah, solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
Not Hamburg where you're second, right?
Yeah.
Where you get a race like that.
Yeah.
Would you look at Hamburg as one of your best?
Yeah, like overall performance, that
Yes.
was a very good race.
That was a great race,
and
yes.
it was just a great day. And it's just so cool to race in Germany.
Yes.
And Hamburg is like 3 hours from my home in Denmark.
Oh, wow.
So I had so many friends and family, even some of my sponsors, like local sponsors, came down.
Yes.
It was amazing.
That is cool. And how was that experience? You were 13th at the World Championships in Nice. And that, of course, 8,000 feet of climbing. It's a brutal, brutal course. But I guess you enjoyed that.
I do. I wish that we had a bit more sunshine, though.
It was chilly, huh?
Yeah. But it is a beautiful course.
Yes. Yeah. One of those things. And the nice thing is when you have a series like this, it's not like you have to win everything. You need to be, like I said, solid, right? So you're, 7th at Texas and 2nd in Hamburg, and then, at this point you're sitting in 3rd in the series, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I still feel like I could, I don't feel like I have the best season.
Right. Solid.
Yeah. And I'm just happy that I have Hamburg to brighten everything up a bit.
Exactly. Well, and then last year you got 2nd in Texas, and you went to your now, was that your first Ironman World Championship? And I don't think that was. I think you've done a few others. 2023 when you got your 21st in Kona.
Yeah, that's the first time I was outside top 15
I was
in
gonna
Kona.
say,
I've had 6 World Championships.
Yes.
I had my first one in 17.
Yes.
And haven't missed one since.
Right. And
only the ones that we didn't get to do, unfortunately.
Exactly. So was this one of those races that you would have come here in 2020 for World Championships?
I don't think I haven't done as many 70.3.
Okay, more fulls.
Yeah. So I did Lati last year.
Yes.
And then obviously the one we talked about when I was age grouper.
Right.
But other than that, it has been Kona. I've been
Kona.
Yeah.
Kona.
And St. George, obviously.
Right. And with Kona, you've had some great races there. What is it about that course that works well for you?
I think it's just the hype in Kona that works.
You like basically the spotlight, the fact that it's a world championship.
Yeah, but also the vibe you have there is just amazing. And I think it is just a unique place.
Yeah. So when you raced there last year, and it was an all women's race, right? It was just the women racing. Did you enjoy that? Yeah,
for sure. I didn't miss the fact that the boys were there too. I like that we have our own race, but I like that
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody is there at the same
family,
time.
Right? You want the whole family there.
And often I've been traveling with some of the Danish boys,
Yes.
and you kind of miss them when
Absolutely.
you go one day or so.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be there with Magnus and the rest of the guys, right? Yeah, you want to see how they do. Now, everybody talks about Norway and the Norwegian method and everything, but when I look at the number of great Danish athletes, on the men's side especially, but we don't talk about the Danish method, but there's so many great athletes from Denmark. Bakkegaard and Magnus and everybody else.
It's great to see.
Yes.
And it's a nice environment we have, and it's good.
Do you guys you train and travel together with the guys?
Well, kind of in groups.
Yes.
We also have one national team camp a year.
Okay.
So in January, all of us will go on a camp together.
Nice. And this is for primarily long distance, or is it everybody?
This year it will be only long distance because of we didn't do so well in the Olympics, so funding has been cut. But long distance will have a camp.
Yes. And funded by the national team.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where will you guys go?
Fuerteventura.
Okay. Yeah.
So the long distance will go last year and the year before. That's the first 2 years we have done it.
Right.
Oh, it's this year, but it feels like last year now. It was like a mix of short and long distance, and it has been like a very nice dynamic.
Yes.
But I'm sure we will have a great time with the long distance team this year.
Absolutely. And how many athletes will be going?
20.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So it's like the national team and then like the group just below.
Just below, sort of the up-and-comers.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know if a lot of countries do that, because it really gets people learn from each other.
Yeah, and it's great. And I think it's also, it's one of the since we have Rasmus Henning as sports director now.
Yes, I covered him during his Ironman career.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And he has done some changes with the federation and is doing a great job.
Well, it's always good to have somebody who has that experience. Because when he was coming over, there weren't very many athletes from Denmark coming over to Kona.
No.
Yeah, he was
it was him and Torbjørn, I guess.
Yeah, Torbjørn, the Thunder Bear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I remember Thunder Bear. He was great. And it's funny because back then everything was so experimental, and he was such a big guy. And I remember him trying to figure out. He was wearing long sleeve, white. Yeah, he just had the hardest time with the cooling. And now there's so much more science behind it that people know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got, in terms of the people, the women you have to worry about on race day. So you've got, at this point, Jackie Herring is leading and Kat Matthews is second and you're in third. Who do you have to worry about behind you?
Well, I believe Lotte and Hannah.
Lotte, who's right now in fourth. Right, and Danielle Lewis is in fifth.
Yeah,
and Hannah's in seventh at this point.
Yeah, but the thing is that Lotte and Hannah only has done 170.3.
Right.
So they will make quite a big jump as soon as they finish this race.
Because they get full points. Because they haven't done. If you've done all the 70.3s, unless you do better.
Yeah. So
you really don't get any points.
No. So the thing is, I will have to improve my worst 70.3.
Right.
There's more points to get here because it's a world champs. So I should be able to improve, but it's still only a small jump I will make compared to the ones that
have not done as many.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fascinating because I think we have that on the guy side too, where we've got right now Gregory Barnaby is leading, but it looks like Matthew Marquardt can make up a lot of ground because he hasn't done, the 70.3.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's something about if he will do better than what Barnaby has done.
Yes. He wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe the one of the two that do the best here will win.
And it's funny because it's like there's two races going on. There's somebody racing like a Taylor Knibb, not part of the points thing. So she's here. I'm here to win. And everybody else is, obviously everybody wants to win. But what they're here for is, hey, I'm in third. I'd like to stay in third.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
85,000 is better than 50,000.
Yeah.
But 50,000 is still pretty good.
Yeah, that's a very nice bonus for me.
Has this whole, with the T100 and PTO and obviously the Pro Series, it's a good time to be a pro.
Yeah, I wish I was like new and just starting my career now.
Right, with all this stuff coming in.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's so nice to see how the sport is developing
it's
and
really
growing. Yeah.
Yes. And you enjoy, I'm guessing with all the travel you do, you enjoy the travel.
Yeah, like who wouldn't enjoy a Christmas trip to New Zealand? Like it's beautiful here.
Isn't it the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Now, will you stay afterwards and do some touring?
Yes. Actually, I will have a week with my homestay family from St. George.
Yes.
And they're here to race as well.
Very fun.
And then, we will go and explore together.
I think that's one of the coolest part about triathlon is the whole homestay. You create relationships for life.
Yeah. And it's such a nice family. And, I'm sure we're going to have a lovely time.
Now, have you already thought about next year? And will you stay on the Pro Series bandwagon?
Yeah, I feel like even though on the paper it looks like it has been good this year, I still feel like I have a lot more in me.
Yes.
And I've had a few races that I definitely haven't been happy with.
Right.
And they kind of, like normally you'll just say, okay, that was one bad race, it doesn't matter. But now they actually count as well. So you kind of have to...
Every race has to be good.
Yeah.
And the competition's just going to get better.
Exactly. That's another thing. So I feel like I need to give it one more try.
At least one more try. Come on now. You're still so young in this sport. It's not like you have a lot of miles in your legs. And you've been doing this for 10, 12 years, something like that?
Yeah, I feel like it has been a long time now. But it's nice to see that there's still some improvement to make.
I love it. Maja, thank you for always being so generous with your time. Always good to catch up with you. And after the race, we might have to see if you can come away with a hole-in-one and get $10,000.
Yeah. That's a nice Christmas bonus.
I love it. Maja Stage Nielsen has been our guest. Again, day 3, Breakfast with Bob. Hold on. We will be right back.